Perhaps no religious artifact on planet Earth creates as much fascination and controversy as the Shroud of Turin. Is this the real burial cloth of Jesus of Nazareth? Well, Dr. Jeremiah Johnston, an expert on the shroud, believes the evidence for it is now beyond all doubt. So, my friend, that is a huge statement. Why do you believe that?
Well, it's great to be with you, Raj, on CBN News. I believe that based on the evidence, 102 scientific disciplines have spent over 600,000 hours of scientific study on the Shroud of Turin. And the great majority of them have concluded the shroud is indeed 2,000 years old. And based on my biblical scholarship, I can assure you that no one was crucified the way Jesus of Nazareth was crucified on April 3rd, AD 33. We know the exact date. It's the best established fact of the ancient world. And so based on this scientific evidence, and many of it is breaking news for your audience, such as the fact that the Institute of Crystallography in Italy has confirmed using wide-angle X-ray scattering technology that the Shroud of Turin, which again is currently in Italy, but is indeed 2,000 years old. We believe it to be the very burial cloths of Jesus of Nazareth. Keep in mind for your audience, and I know your audience is full of Christian thinkers, all four Gospels mention the fact that Joseph of Arimathea wrapped Jesus's body in a linen burial shroud. The Greek word is sindon, anathonia, and then sudarium. And so we believe based on the evidence, not based on failing, not based on some kind of vibe, but based on the evidence that we do indeed have a 2,000-year-old burial shroud. Now, why do we believe it's Jesus? Raj, unlike other burial shrouds, and we have many of them that we have discovered from the land of Israel. Think about Lazarus. He's buried in a burial shroud in John chapter 11 when Jesus raises him from the dead. The unique thing about the Shroud of Turin, which is fascinating, is there is an image that is superficially embedded in the 14-foot long burial cloth of the front and back of a 5'11" man, Jewish man with a beard who has experienced trauma that matches and corresponds with all of the details of Jesus's death by Roman crucifixion. And that's why we believe it is indeed the burial shroud of Jesus of Nazareth.
Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. Can you give us a little bit of the details on the image itself? Like, how did that come to be?
This is what's fascinating to scientists, and this is what's fun for your audience. I know the 2 million subscribers of CBN News love to see ways that faith and reason intersect. And in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus, which of course is attested to in the New Testament, we have this artifact, the Shroud of Turin, where you have the death, burial, and resurrection all found in one artifact from history. This is fantastic. And Enea Laboratories in Rome, Paul Delazzo, spent 5 years of his scientific life studying how much light energy would be required to leave a flash, if you will, a first century selfie, if you will, of Jesus of Nazareth in the Shroud of Turin. And again, this isn't a pastor trying to prove anything. This is a light scientist. And Paul Delazzo states it took 34,000 trillion watts of energy, but It wasn't just the amount of energy, it was the speed. Think about when the Bible says we'll see Jesus in the twinkling of an eye. The Enea Laboratories said this 34,000 trillion watts of energy traveled in 1/40th of a billionth of a second to leave the image on the shroud. Otherwise, it would have scorched the image and destroyed it. And the image is just 2 or 3 microns thin. It disappears if you go closer than 8 feet to the shroud. And so this is what has baffled scientists. Scientists have confirmed it is not a work of art. It's not man-made. No one's worshiping some kind of man-made idol or relic here. They have confirmed there's no pigment, there's no dye. But they have also said, we have no idea how this happened. The best rocket scientists of our day, Raj, cannot explain how the image is embedded in the linen cloth. They can't duplicate it.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Now, I know for a lot of folks, especially, let's just call it a Western American Christian perspective, and myself included, there's this immediate pushback. Was oh, this feels like the Holy Grail. This feels Indiana Jonesy. But I've talked with you, obviously, over over the years. And the more that the evidence comes out, it's like, guys, this might be legit. And I know you believe it 100%, but here's the most important question. What if it is the shroud? Then what does that mean?
Well, there's a couple of things I want to remind your audience of, and thanks for having me. Number one, we wouldn't have a New Testament if there wasn't evidence for the resurrection of Jesus. Remember, no one expected Jesus to rise from the dead, and they're shocked when they see him. And remember Thomas in John 20, unless I see the nail prints in the wrists, unless I see the wound in the side, I will not believe. And what's awesome about Jesus, he meets us in our doubts. He doesn't shame us. He sharpens us when we doubt. And so let's not be overly pious. I say this in love to many of my Christian brothers and sisters who are watching, and, oh, I have faith. I don't need evidence. I don't need artifacts. I don't need archaeology. I don't need Indiana Jones Christianity. Well, the original authors of the New Testament did. They needed evidence to see that he was alive from the dead before they authored, the 8 or 9 authors of the New Testament, what Jesus did. Remember, John said, I've written all these so that you believe, so that you believe. In 1 John 1, he said, that which we have heard, which we have seen, which our hands have handled. I mean, this is evidence. We're not talking about myths or fairy tales or fables. We're talking about real people, real places, real events. And so the implications are we have the moment of resurrection captured in a 1st century burial cloth. And what's so unique about this, Raj, it's tied to technology. I really believe as we get closer to the second coming of Jesus Christ, we are seeing this phenomena of a controlled revelation of Jesus Christ tied to technology.
And you're going to Italy, what, next week to see it, right?
I'll be there next weekend, Lord willing, and I'll be filming my progress. I'll be posting about it. I have a film crew with me. It's the Feast of the Holy Shroud. There's much going on with the Pope's death and conclave. And as an evangelical Christian, I'm delighted that I've been invited to participate with the Shroud this weekend.
Dr. Jeremiah Johnston, thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, Raj, for having me. God bless you. Keep doing all you're doing.